question that's been raised to me my entire life. It's been, what's a good Jewish boy like you doing in the kitchen? I was born in Johannesburg, South Africa. Lived in a Jewish home. My mother became a great cook. My father was a chemical engineer. I was a horrible student, so I didn't fit either mold. My father wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, a classic oldest Jewish son. And I wanted to become a chef. I was sent to the army, became a kosher chef in the army, and my career started from that point on. Finally, something in life that meant something to me that I really did well at was cooking and being in the front of the house, personality if you want. So for all intents and purposes, I was successful. And in the late 90s, I had a restaurant called Clive's, an upscale steakhouse type restaurant that was doing incredibly well, but there was something in my life that was missing. There was something in my life that was absolutely a void. I had achieved so much, but yet I felt I had done nothing. And there was inside me a little voice that would ask this question: Clive, is this all there is to life? Along came this gentleman, Carlos St. Mary, who was my advertising agent at the time, and he had shared with me for about 3 years a relationship, a friendship. And on this one particular day, after me cussing everybody out and throwing my typical, if you want, chef temper tantrum, he pulled me outside and he said, "Hey, Clive, I've got a way in which you could have your heart's desires." And I kind of listened to him and said, like, "What are you going to sell me now? You know, some medication, some potion, what?" And he says, "Through a relationship with Jesus Christ." Now, I can't repeat at any point what I told him, but I said, "You must be crazy." And he says, "Why not?" And I said, "I'm Jewish." And he looked at me without missing a beat, without even taking a breath, and he said, "So?" I said, "So? I'm Jewish." And he said, "So what? So is Jesus." And over the next 40 days, I went on this journey of going to read the Bible with him. I asked him to buy me a Bible, and we went and just read all this stuff, and I think that through that reading, God was showing me his personality. We read the Torah, which I was raised as a Jewish boy on, and we read all these different elements of it, and God just revealed himself in a very unique way to me. I love, caring, by my side, has a plan, those kind of things, and my life started to change. And over the course of this time, I've realized that food speaks, and that that life is actually but a kitchen. What happens in a kitchen? There's a lot of activity, there's a lot of fuss, there's a lot of mess, there's some great things that happen, there's some tough things that happen. You have what I call in the book oopses. You have sandpaper moments that just rub you the wrong way, but yet you have to continually grow and you have to continually progress. And that's life in the kitchen. The same place where masterpieces are created are the same places where landfill stuff is collected. And that's the kitchen, and that's the life we all live in, and that's the world we live in. I started to take notes of what I learned in the restaurant business, what I've learned in life since my conversion and my experience with Christ, with God, and it's come now into a place where I can put it on paper. And I said, what is it that we're all looking for in life? What I've come up with is that it's empty bottle moments. When we used to have big wine dinners or special occasions, I'd take the empty bottle from the leftover of wine and I'd store them and I'd put them in display cases or keep them in on different shelves and use them as symbols. And people say, "You crazy, Clive?" I said, "No, because an empty bottle of wine tells more of a story, a complete story, than a full bottle. A full bottle of wine is basically incomplete. It's still got a story to tell. Our goal in life is to become empty bottles. Our goal in life is to take what God has given us in talents, what God has given us in treasure, our money and resources, what God has given us in just our existence, if you want, in who we are, and time, perhaps, maybe. Time, treasure, and talent are the three things. And we say, take those and pour it into the world. If we think in the line of giving and a serving mentality, I think Jesus modeled that becomes empty bottles. So what has happened in the process, I've come up with these 6, if you want, lessons of empty bottles. And if you apply these 6 elements of empty bottle, what I call empty bottle lessons, into your life, you experience empty bottle moments. Empty bottle moments is where we take what we have and put it out. Now, the 6 lessons, number 1 is oops. What happens when oopses happen, when we make a mistake? How do we respond to it? Because we can respond to it and say, I don't want to deal with it, or I messed up, and we become so ingrained with ourselves that we continue to oops, or we can say, you know what? Grace prevails, and that oops is overcome. So another one is sandpaper. I call it sandpaper moments, when some people come into our life and rub us the wrong way. Elements rub us the wrong way, and sandpaper. Marriages just rub you the wrong way. And the tendency in our society teaches us, run. Don't take sandpaper moments, run. I believe that if we stay in those sandpaper moments, that sandpaper rubs off on us, and we become refined. Lunch money moments. And lunch money is where I'd go to school and I'd spend my lunch money. I'd come home, my mom would say, what happened to your lunch? You didn't eat lunch? What happened to your money? And so I talk about focus and how we come up in life and we can get so sidetracked on everything that's going on around us. And I also apply these things to the kitchen. Every one of these moments, these lessons are applied to the kitchen as well as life. Another lesson is lanyap. Lanyap is the Cajun word for adding a little extra. And I talk about how we can add a little extra into our life, whether it be with our kids, with our spouses, with just our relationships. And then I talk about obviously adding little extras into food as well. The bit moments, if you want, B-I-T, before it's time. And our tendency in this fast-paced world is to do things before it's time. That famous ad commercial where it talked about we serve no wine before it's time, at the right time. And we in a hurry so much, so I share about how to do things and waiting on the right moment to occur. Yum yum is when something's great, it's yum yum, it's yummy. And so I talk about quality and how to make things right by using quality ingredients, quality existence in your life, doing just things that are right. Doesn't mean that it costs a whole bunch of money. That's the furthest thing from what I want to teach and what I want to share. It's the fact that it's just using the best quality for what you're doing. The second half of the book goes into what I call the empty bottle moments that I've experienced so far. There's 21 of them. They go everything from celebrating election night with George Bush 41, where I did his dinner, to cooking backstage for Van Halen, to serving the 49ers in my restaurant, the Houston Oilers, famous musicians. I talk about weddings, the two most important elements of a wedding, in my opinion. I talk about how to have hallmark moments instead of just sending cards and making reservations and buying flower arrangements. I share empty bottle moments where I've done certain things in a certain way, and it's just been what I call wow moments, walking on water moments. So I go through 21, and each one of these, each one of these moments has 4 to 6 recipes associated with them. So you'll get the food recipes as well as the moments collected. It really is a cookbook with a journey. It really is a spiritual book. It really is just a cookbook. It really is a photo book. It's all those combined. I call it a journey of my life, the lessons learned in my life as a restaurateur, as a chef, as a follower of Jesus Christ. So it's all those combined. It's called it fusion. Maybe that's the best way to do it. I believe that the recipes are there. They're unique in some cases, but they're standard recipes that I've used. Something special? Yes. But when you put them together with the entire package of creating empty bottle moments, the recipe comes out. So people could create empty bottle moments utilizing the recipes in the book and their moments and enhance them. The desire I have of this book is that somebody who reads it would inspire them to live life a little differently. My life has been changed over the last 9 years as I've followed and as I continue to follow these 6 principles. And I can see, for the better, I live a life now far better than I ever did. It has nothing to do with the money. It has nothing to do with my surroundings. It has nothing to do with that which you can feel and touch. It has to do with my passion and finding passion through the utilizing empty bottle moment principle.